Stop yelling at me, Dutch. Oh, sorry, we're live. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of a show about some shows. This is episode number 72. It's two guys, no girls, but lots of pizza. As tonight we were talking about our boy Ryan Reynolds. He's in the top 10. We are your two hosts. First off, JPO, Jordan Pierce Owens. Hi, how are you doing? And my main man, as always, take the wheel.
I'm Dutch McAllister. Thank you, Jordan, for a sterling introduction. As always, I got my nice little cardigan. We got some nice cold weather going on in Florida for a while. It's 54 degrees outside. I know it's not cold in most of the other. It's colder in other places, but it's a nice evening. So it feels like a fireside chat tonight. So I can't wait.
Uh-huh. We got several movie reviews we'll start off here momentarily, talking some TV shows as well. And as I said, some news and notes, by the way. We might as well rename this week's the Marvel and Disney news and notes. And as I said, top 10, my boy right here on the Zoom call. He's going to chime in any minute now. Ryan Reynolds. Yes, he has 10 good films. I even have some honorable mentions. Those are not so good, but we'll get to that. Mr. Dutchy.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to kick off the first?
Kick it off.
Well, buddy, this is what we're going to do when we get older, right? We're going to have buddy games. That's the name of the film that we're going to kick off with. Buddy games. After a falling out, 6 lifelong friends reunite to play the buddy game. Insane competition filled with absurd physical and mental challenges. Now, all bets are off as the determined pals fight, claw, and party for the chance to win $150,000. This has Josh Duhamel, Dan Bacadale, Kevin Dillon, James Rodriguez, Dak Shepard, Nick Swartzman, Stephen Farley, Olivia Munn, and Jensen Ackles. That's just the name some, because Jensen Ackles and Olivia Munn not in it very much, but just if you're big fans, a little trivia note for you.
I know who Stephen Farley is. You're naming some weird ones now.
Anyway, let's just get to this. We're gonna probably have a lot of differences in this film. It just hit me at the right time. I don't know. It's direct to video. There's a reason for that. But it is a fun throwback to the camp raunchy type movies of the late 80s, we'll say. Not all the story really makes sense, but it's a fun time. The romance between Josh and Olivia, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And other than that, it's a good ride all the way through. I think there's some underutilization of character, say the Kevin Dillon's character and Rodriguez's character. I like to see a little bit more of those two.
Not billed as Rodriguez, by the way. In the credits, he's only Roday. Just saying.
Well, I would like to see a little bit more of Roday as well because I'm big fans of both of those two guys. But other than that, I found it a good film and just fun. What did you think about it? Because I know we're going to go veering off because you're going to think it's too raunchy or too just cheap humor. I like cheap humor, by the way.
It's cheap. It's cheap to the max. It's from the moment this thing lost me here, the first scene with Beckedahl and Nick Swartzen with the paintballs, and then it goes to the credits, and it's like, oh, okay, did we even attempt a laugh here? The entire thing is just 1980s, 1990s bro humor, man. I'm gonna hit you in the dick, balls, more dick. It's insulting to women.
How is it insulting?
I was not insulting the whole there's and then the beer or the bar trip where it's like, hey, let's see who we can get laid before we have to shit our pants.
It wasn't laid. It was a total different way to do it. You basically had to map up, but not. You weren't going to go having sex with her. You were just trying to see how far you guys can get before the other ones defecated themselves. It was funny.
She backs for at least a week, and then she's totally into it. Of course, she is.
Yeah.
One thing I like, well, actually, like I said, it was good on the spoiler territory. I like how Munn's character it ends, although it just again makes it feel like such a waste of time. Yeah, I don't know. This is not the movie for me. It's you said it's a throwback. You don't need a throwback because we're past those decades where Revenge of the Nerds and raping women was funny. We're past that. This is a waste of time. This wastes everybody in this thing. You mentioned Roday. He deserves so much better. He doesn't do enough, I think, outside of Psych and that really sad show you like. And now this, come on, I don't know. I couldn't get into this thing. I was so ready to talk to you about it too, and then you're like, yeah, I saw it, and then I realized we were having a different conversation about the same movie.
Well, no, look, see, I knew it was going to not be the most politically correct film. And I think if you go into that feeling, okay, it's just going to be a jocularity all the way through, you can get through it and enjoy some of the jokes. Now, if you start nitpicking, yes, I think it is a little sexist, if you were to really go deep. But this movie is not really a deep thing. It's more like you're licking the surface just to get the cream. You don't want to get anything more. You're skimming the surface of something. But what did you rate it before I give you mine? Because mine's going to be a little higher probably than yours.
No. You go first.
No, it's not going to be high, but it's a 3, a solid 3.
That's too high. That is high. That is extremely high. 1.5, and I'm being generous.
Well, sir, I apologize, but we'll beg to differ, and you should watch it just to make up your mind. So I enjoyed it.
No, because you shouldn't watch it. You should watch it if you're a dude that finds hitting other dudes in the nuts funny multiple times. If you're someone that wants something just slightly higher, even Adam Sandler, Hubie Halloween level higher, you don't need to watch this. If you watch the trailer or if you think Nutshot is funny for 2 hours, then yes, give it a shot. But if you're someone that wants just a little bit more to your comedy, no, don't. Save your time.
Again, you're not watching it for any smart comedy. You're just watching it to watch something that's kind of funny, and you could lose yourself really easy if you're looking for a laugh.
You lose yourself wondering why have we come to this? Josh Duhamel, stop directing if this is what you're directing. Well, from that to completely on the opposite side of the spectrum, I'm reviewing this one. I think I'm by myself here. Antebellum.
You are.
Yes, Antebellum. Successful author Veronica finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality and must uncover the mind-bending mystery before it's too late. This stars Janelle Monáe, Jack Houston, Eric Lang, Jenna Malone, Gabourey Sidibe, and Kiersey Clemens. So this is one of those movies that was set for theaters, and then the world fell apart. And I think it might have been in theaters still for a couple of weeks. I don't know, but it's finally out on VOD, Blu-ray, all those things. In fact, I don't know if anyone knows this still exists. This is not an old thing. Netflix will still send you DVDs.
What kind of sorcerer are you?
They will still do that, my friends. In fact, I think if you stay away from them long enough, they'll do what they do to me, which is every year say, "We miss you, free month." That's why I'm doing it this month. So this was sent to me in the and yeah, there's a big twist here because you see it in the trailer that it seems like it's bouncing back and forth between two timelines. Between the present day and then unfortunately the slavery days here, and so you're wondering what's going on here. And one, it's beautifully shot. That's one thing that I'd say that can definitely separate this from, I believe it's 2 first-time directors, 2 gentlemen. It's very good, nice to look at. It's a very gorgeous film. Even from the first, the intro, it's a nice, really long tracking shot, which I actually watched a little bit of in the bonus features about how they did it. And Janelle Monáe is fantastic as well. She's mostly a singer. She's the one on that fun song, Tonight We Are Young. She's also, of course, had her own album. She's started to build up a nice little film career herself, Hidden Figures, amongst other things. She's really strong in this as well. Gabourey Sidibe has never been so vibrant on screen since Precious. She's one of the side characters here, one of the friends, and I thought she was absolutely hilarious. I wanted to see more her character because she really commanded the screen too, and just a really fun friend role. So the twist, I went with it. I think it's going to be maybe polarizing to some. I went with it though because I think it is trying to say something different and trying to do something different here. And I do kind of commend them for that here. And I think it's a very interesting, worthwhile movie here. You've seen some of the tropes here before, but when it's done really well, you can go with it again here. So it is a film I recommend. I'm trying to think about that extra, half stars. I always sometimes on waver on the fence here. But I'm going to give it a pretty decent review. I'm going to say 3.5 stars. I think it is worth checking out.
Okay.
I almost want to say 4 after you just gave that movie 3. I feel like I'm. I think our scales are weird, but yeah. So I think it's worth it here, man. There's some things that kind of kept it back for me here, but I think it's worth checking out.
Don't look. You're judging me on one weakness that I have sometimes, and that's a very sophomoric film, and that's sometimes what happens. Oh, let's move on. Let's digress. We all have an Uncle Frank, maybe. I don't know. You could. I can. Who knows? But Uncle Frank is our next film. It's on Amazon. In 1973, when Frank Bledsoe and his 18-year-old niece Beth take a road trip from Manhattan to Creekville, South Carolina, for the family patriarch's funeral, they're unexpectedly joined by Frank's lover, Walid. This stars Paul Bettany, Sophia Lillis, Peter McDissy, Stephen Zahn, Judy Greer, Margot Martindale, and Stephen Root. I don't know. Did you get a chance to finally see this?
I did, my friend. I can join you on this one as well.
Good. I gotta tell you this. I went in with it. Alan Ball, as we saw, is writing and directing this film. He's also did what is it? American Beauty, I believe. Correct? Or am I wrong on that one? Alan Ball. What? Yeah. I think it was American Beauty, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. American. He was on American Beauty. He was a producer for that. 6 Feet Under, stuff like that. So I had to double check. That's what I was doing really quick. But I said that. I apologize for any space that you thought you might have got disconnected by. But this is a great period piece for 1973. I believe Sophia Lillis is choosing parts wisely now. She's had some really quirky parts as of late. And she's slowly growing her repertoire in her deal. Paul Bettany, if you know him, he's Jarvis, the voice of Jarvis, and of Vision in the MCU, who plays her uncle, who is gay. The family doesn't know it, but there are a few people in the family who do know it, but that's Margot Martindale and Stephen Root, who play the parents of Paul Bettany. It's basically an 18-year-old girl who winds up going to New York and basically knows more about her uncle than she ever knew about. And it was always a secret within the family of, him being who he is. And it's just a delightful performance by everybody. Peter Macadesi plays the lover, Walid, who plays the comic relief while Paul Bettany is going through a lot of struggles, and he does a great dramatic performances as well, because there's some dark stuff that happens in his childhood, and he's got he's never really unpacked that fully, and coming home has just opened all these wounds, and to me it's just a good movie, all solid. Amazon did a great job of putting this out. I hope more people see it. Jordan, what do you have on this?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty much restate some of the stuff you said. It's a very charming, well done movie here. I was sucked in from the get go here. Paul Bettany's so great. Vision's a fun role, but here he's really multifaceted here, and he really commands the screen. And I loved his lover, Peter McDissy. Like you said, I mean, everyone here is pretty charming. Stephen Root, though, who's usually pretty fun, he's that stern father that just does not get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some really heart-wrenching scenes with him, and even a younger version too of Paul Bettany at one point. But McDeesey and Bettany, I thought were fantastic in this. Lillis, in a way, is kind of the person we see it through. So I feel like sometimes she got lost in the shuffle, but she's great in this as well here. Some of the family members too. You don't get a lot of Judy Greer and whatnot, but yeah, I really like this. It kind of reminds me of my sentiments from the last review of we've seen a little bit of chunks of like this before, but when it's so well done and so charming, I think it absolutely works. Man, I was very happy that I threw this on. Um, you mentioned, Alan Ball. He wrote American Beauty. He helped create True Blood and 6 Feet Under. This is only his second film, actual film. The other one was Towelhead, which is a really interesting film here. Not as uplifting if you've ever seen Towelhead. Also worth checking out though as well. But this one, I think, absolutely throw on here. Maybe a little bit of a tidy ending. I thought than maybe was going for. Very, very tidy, very nice, neat and clean. But
Yeah.
maybe that's what they wanted to do, and I went with it. So yeah, I really dug this. I'm going now that extra little bump, 4 snowflakes for me.
Yeah, and you know what? There was a scene. I don't know if you remember the scene is when Steven Zahn, his character, finds out about his brother's sexuality and how he just basically, that moment you could just see the two really act at that moment. You know what I'm saying? You can see everything else and just fades away in the background, and that scene's very, very powerful as well. I agree with you on this wholeheartedly. I gave it 4 snowflakes. I think the tidy ending kind of ruined it, but again, I can't say why wouldn't you make it a tidy ending? As you said, it's just.
I'm not going to harp on it too much, but
I'm not going to ding. I probably took a half away just a ding, but there might have been 1 or 2 other dings in there. But all in all, it's a pretty good film, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Amazon.
I also really enjoyed this one more thing too. I forgot what is it, the aunt with the spider in her hair, where like she still's like,
"Oh,
you're still going to hell," and I really love his response was like, "You're doing the best you can, aren't you?" Like that's the best. Yeah. Like I like you, but you're going to hell. Like she said something nice and followed by "You're going to hell." I like how his response is like, "Yeah, you're trying at least."
Yeah, it's what it is. It's just the old people. Some people just will never change, and that's how she was. And I you know what, that was a great scene. When he says you're doing the best you can, aren't you? Oh man, what's up next, boss?
Next film, also on Netflix DVD coming to my house. The Owners. A group of friends think they found the perfect easy score. Man, does it ever just turn out nice? I want a 20-minute film one day where they just go, perfect score, and then they grab the money and they live happily.
Yeah, you're on an island somewhere.
In this one, it's about they find an empty house with a safe full of cash. But when the elderly couple that lives there comes home early, the tables are suddenly turned as a deadly game of cat and mouse ensues. Now, I did not replace the cast, so give me a second because I still have Melissa McCarthy from last week. This stars Maisie Williams, Sylvester McCoy, Rita Tushingham, Jake Coran, Andrew Ellis, and Ian Kenny are your main players here. So, yeah, very tight film. In fact, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other people that are in it very briefly, but it's the 3 boys kidnapping or trying to get the money from the elderly couple. Maisie Williams, of course, Game of Thrones, she's also someone that I've really enjoyed been watching these last few years. This is another one where I don't love this movie, but she definitely shines in a way of being multifaceted in whatever she comes up with here. So I'll give it enough props. It seemed like a tight enough movie here of just first it's that first level of them messing with the elderly couple. Then as the premise showed you, maybe the elderly couple have a little something up their sleeve, and they've done some weird stuff in the past, and now the tables have turned, if you will. So it kept my interest. Again, I don't know. There's something about it that I don't know. Maybe it's just the premise itself. It doesn't lead it to being much more than what it is. But it was crazy enough without going too crazy, which is what I liked. The characters for the most part were very kind of succinct in their horror, which was kind of enjoyable here. So 3 stars. If you like this kind of film, if you like this premise, I think it will live up to the hype here for you. So The Owners, 3-star review.
Okay. Well, we're going from one owner who. Well, by the way, though, these films, though, you are right. When is it ever going to be a simple mission? We found that with the what was that one film where the guy was blind and he could hear you or something? Don't breathe. Okay, that was supposed to be a simple in and out type of job, and he has a big case full, big old safe full of money. I'm like, what is it simple, people? Why do you even attempt these things? Okay, especially when people are home. That's what I don't understand. Of course, yours was out of town, but the other guy's at home, and they're still going to just say, "Oh, he's blind. He can't do." No, boom. Okay. Sorry. That's my only fault with that, and I know they're going to have a second one soon. So, wow, I can't wait to review that. So anyway, the next one we have is on Netflix as well, not on DVD, but possibly if you probably had that option there, Jordan. Midnight at the Magnolia. Longtime friends and local radio host Maggie and Jack fake it as a couple for their families and listeners in hopes to getting their show syndicated. Kind of like what we're doing here on the show here, Jordan. We're all faking it until we make it. Natalie Hall, Evan Williams, Steve Cummin, Michael Golden Shore, Susan Hyman, and Victoria Maria all star in this Netflix original. What this is basically you have Jack and Maggie. They're both lifelong friends. They went to high school together. They were part of the audio visual club together. Had their own little show there. And so then they made this into a college show. And then after they went through college, they are now on the local radio in Chicago. And now they're up for syndication, but they want some big ratings. So they were supposed to be bringing their significance to this meeting. But what happens is they both get dumped on the same night. And what do? They concoct the idea that they should be together. But then what happens? The same thing that happens in every story, ladies and gentlemen. They fall out of friendship. Their friendship is tested. Their love is strained. And everyone is just buffaloed by them pretending to have dated. So then they get back together and everyone's happy. So these are these movies, people. If you can't figure this out by now, especially the ones that I review that are like these, you don't even deserve a cookie if you watch these. But yes, I enjoyed it. It was fun. There were some way forced moments. Don't get me wrong, but I enjoy these films just because it's pretty formulaic, and I enjoy formulas of this ilk for some crazy reason in my mental brain. Jordan, did you get a chance to see this movie?
No, I haven't heard of this thing until you reviewed it.
Well, it's also a Christmas film as well, and a New Year's Eve film as well as so they double dip in the holidays on this one. But like I said, it's a pretty good film. If you want to watch it, it's what?
Is it in English?
Yes, it's in English. They're in Chicago, so they're both from Iowa or Illinois or wherever the hell Chicago is. See, good with geographics, but yeah, it's a 3 snowflakes in this. But I just found it pretty much by the numbers, and we all know what happens, and then we're going to look for a sequel probably. That's how these movies go. They're going to have a kid. So, but no, other than that, you should, if you want on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, get a chance to look at it.
Interesting last holiday films.
Wow. No, I got more. We'll talk about what we got next week.
Oh boy. I got one more for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Weasel's back. Whatever. It's Guest House. A newly engaged couple finds the home of their dreams, and it quickly becomes a nightmare when the previous owner's friend continues squatting in their guest house. This stars Mike Castle, Pauly Shore, Amy Teagarden, Steve O, Billy Zane, Bobby Lee, Lou Ferrigno, and Lou Ferrigno Jr.
God.
So I'm a 90s kid. So I have a lot of love for Pauly Shore and Adam Sandler. And, I haven't seen a hell of a lot of Pauly Shore I don't think this is gonna necessarily bring him back. I was with it at first. I was with it for the first few minutes here. I enjoyed the little, Mike Castle used to be a partier, and now he's, just trying to settle down, and then with a nice Amy Teagar in here, and who's also really fun in this movie? Billy Zane. I really like some Billy Zane. Every time he popped up, I had a lot of fun with him as the father who just doesn't like poor Mike Castle for whatever reason here. And then I don't know. It's just we started with buddy games. We ended with this. I feel like it's the right kind of bookend. There's a lot of dumb humor here. There's a couple inspired moments, but then just like that, just like the coffee scene thing, and just like hot coffee, and then it kind of moves on. It's one of those comedies of like not much. I feel like was really written on the screen here, written on a screenplay. Just kind of was whatever here. So it was fine. I believe now, actually, I unfortunately wasted more just like Buddy Games Amazon credits to watch it, but I believe it's on Netflix now. So if you're interested in seeing some Pauly Shore, who I don't know if it was a character or what, but even he kind of seems kind of dour in this compared to like what you would want him to be. So I will say though, I'm going high, baby. I'm going way higher than Buddy Games, and not 1.5. I'm gonna give it 2. I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I was with it at first. There was a couple of inspiring moments. I don't hate the main characters. The main dude actually has a Netflix show called Brew Brothers, which also looks dumb. But I'll see how that is. Maybe next week.
No, okay, so I'm figuring something out right here, buddy. You and I are somehow. I'm not saying this movie because I'm not a big Pauly Shore fan, but I will watch Pauly Shore more than I will Carrot Top any day of the week. Carrot Top, whatever. I don't care. I don't like you. But what I'm saying is, it seems like your taste of humor now has become too highbrow for me. I don't understand, sir. Because
I watch every Sandler movie. I even quoted Hubie Halloween being better. I
agreed with you on that because I gave it 3.5.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I am more cynical then. Maybe I am. Like 2.5 maybe is where I went tops.
Okay, so two. Okay, so basically you gave Guest House what 2.5? A 2.
Calm down, just a 2.
Okay, 2. Well, what's up next? The segment we have up next is we basically are doing talk show TV. Yes, well, not talk show TV, but TV. We're show talking of the new TV series that are out there. We have a good handful this week, and I'll kick it off by saying The Hardy Boys over on Hulu. If you want a good mystery, this is it, man. This is like I've read the books of the Hardy Boys. I've read the books of Nancy Drew. They somehow combined, so maybe we'll get a crossover event that we can't wait. But yes, Frank and Joe are in the thick of it, and they're trying to find out who killed their mother. Go ahead.
No, you said Frank and Joe. You meant Matt and Jeff.
No. It's Frank and Joe. Who's Matt? Oh! You're thinking that our friends over there at WWE. Touche, my friend. Touche.
You didn't get the joke. I thought you would at least get the joke.
Well, I was too busy hit deep. I was trying to take my job seriously for a change. Trying to guide these people to a decent show on Hulu. But it is a good show. I'm almost done with it. I got like 3 episodes left. I've been watching one almost every night. There's like 8 or 10 episodes, but about 3 episodes left, I believe. And I see this more of it was made in Canada, it seems, because everyone has kind of a Canadian accent, even though it seems like they're trying to make it into an American city. But they do have a lot of O's and A's going on, and there's thank yous things going on. But yeah, it's a good time, and it's a great mystery show. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. And it's very well paced. So it's a good family show for all on Hulu with the Hardy Boys. The next one, you're going to have to join me on this one, I would hope. Season 4 of Big Mouth dropped on Netflix, and it's as funny and cruder than it has always been. And this season, we find the boys in summer camp, and then they go out to the big city, and the girls discover themselves. So everyone grows up slowly, and again, we're also introduced to a new hormone monster, as well, or the worry bug or something. I can't remember what they called the worry mosquito. Is that what that is? But anyway, so yeah, I find it all great. Also, I can't remember her name, who just left the series. What was her name again? Who did Gina, I believe?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, she was the white dog in in Pets, if you really want to know. Who?
Jenny Slate.
Yes, Jenny Slate. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. But yeah, so Jenny Slate, she is there until toward the end, where they kind of make it happen. In which her voice is one, and then the next episode it switches over to somebody totally different. So welcome to the cast. So Jenny Slate leaves about episode 8 or so in this series. So before she moves on to probably be brought back for something else, who knows? Because they've been rehired for a few more seasons here at Netflix. But I just love this season. This season made me laugh so hard. It got me right out the gate. I loved the tampon episode. I loved the what was the God? There's so many. The New York episode was good too. The city. But yeah, there's a lot of good things going on in the show this year. What did you think about it?
Yeah, but this is definitely an anticipated return here. Big Mouth season 4. It's more of what you love. I enjoy the inclusion now of Seth Rogen. I think how far along are you?
I'm already done. I have enjoyed the whole season already.
Are they in the camp the whole time?
No. They go back to school, but they have like other parts too. They do take the piss on 9/11, which is kind of weird. But not like you would think. But it's just a weird episode, which is it's still a fascinating episode because you still see more character growth for the kids. So I'll give you that.
I'm enjoying it here. There are some stuff that I will admit, don't get mad. I feel like it's a little repetitive to a degree, but it's still a lot more of the fun that you've enjoyed from the other season here. So it's a show that I do quite enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. The next show that we have on our list, again on Netflix, the only reason why I suggest this, one, I love the regular show. It's the Great British Baking Show Holiday Edition. The show is still what it is, but what they've done is taken former contestants from the past and brings them forward. And they do a holiday competition, just a one-day competition to see who's the best holiday cook or baker. The second episode is the reason why I'm recommending this a lot. If you're not even a casual fan, if you watch Dairy Girls, also on Netflix, Dairy Girls is a hilarious Irish show. It's top notch. Only 2 seasons. I think 3 seasons is coming up. Season 3, but yeah, they show up in this and they're guests on this on the baking show. The actors are, and it's just calamity. It makes me laugh. I've never laughed so hard in my life. I mean, literally, I had to catch oxygen there, Jordan, because some of the stuff that they were saying was just unbelievably fun. And there they are right there, making that, it just, I don't know, they just make whatever, but making gingerbread houses, truffles and stuff. It's just a fun thing, and it just made me laugh all the way through. So it's a good light, and it just makes the world positive, this episode. So I do want you to watch it and tell me what you think. So out of all the episodes, watch the second one. This one.
Yeah, you skipped the show
because there's only 2. Yes, I forgot that one. I just got so excited about the other one. The second one that was pretty good. By the way, there's 2 parts on this. They've only launched the first one. I think this week it might drop. But the second one is the Big Show Christmas special. Yes, they canceled the show, but they still squirreled away a few episodes just to milk it some more. And this one is all based on Christmas. They're having a competition. Big Show, of course, is always loving the festivities. He's larger than life. He dresses as in Jingle All the Way as Santa in that movie. He was one of the Santas, and he dresses as Santa again. So I think he really likes to dress as Santa. I'm not sure, but that's his deal. I enjoyed it. It's only one episode so far. I can't wait to see what happens. But again, I'm going to miss this show. I enjoy this show. And I don't know anybody else who doesn't, who has seen it, who's a fan of, say, even just, good family comedy.
One of my nieces went through it twice. She liked it that much.
Yeah, it's just a good family show, and unfortunately, Netflix doesn't stick with a lot of family shows as long as they should, and I also, there's another show I'll talk about that's dropped. I watched it all last night, but I will talk about that next week. Again, probably one more season left in the tank, if that. So and it's a family show as well. So. The next one we have is over off on CBS Access. It's based on Stephen King's book, The Stand. It's like, if you actually read the book, it's an unbelievably good book. Be patient. It's about 1,500 pages or something like that, close to it. It is huge. They're dropping an episode a week right now. Right now, you can watch episode 1 on the series, and it is so far spot on and scary, and I mean, not in a horror way, but just in a person way. And it's about basically the setup and the premises right away. The world has come to an end, and we're going to backtrack, and then we're going to go forward. But I'm not going to ruin about how the world's come to an end, but it's about people who are able to survive through the apocalypse. And basically, as we progress, if you've read the book, or even just read the premise of the show, it's about the battle of good and evil for our souls and our minds. So it's a very good show. I enjoyed the original with Gary. I believe Gary Sinise was in that one, in The Stand. When ABC did it in the original series, I believe. And I enjoyed that one. But this one is like It, the movie It. They're taking a more darker turn. It's not a television. This is why it's direct to CBS All Access. They do have strong language. They do show more violence. So it's not a light take. It's going to be the gritty take that the novel deserved.
Awesome. I do look forward to it. Something I will check out at some point.
Yeah, like I said, I would suggest not jumping on it right away. If it's once a week, just let it be on that. Okay, the next one, I've only seen part of the first episode, but I hope you've seen more. Talk about this. Be Positive on CBS.
So I've seen the first 3. I want to say a Be Positive. I went in for my boy Thomas Middleditch here. He had a really funny improv special with him and Ben Schwartz earlier this year on Netflix, and of course Silicon Valley. And also too, I will watch him just play video games sometimes on YouTube. I enjoy him that much here, so I went in for him, and he's the best part about this. The girl's pretty good too, but it's just, again, going back to cliche 90s humor, she's just really kind of dumb and airy, and I don't know. There's some laughs, but at the same time, I don't know. It just seems.
Does she kind of remind you of an Anna Faris?
It seems like, yeah, maybe Anna Faris would have been casted a few years ago, or what, but in a way dumber way, like the Zombieland 2 girl. I don't know, yeah. That grates me more than anything right now here. So it's fine. It's mostly a one camera kind of sitcom here. So I don't know. It's one of those things that if it goes away, it'll be fine. If it stays, I'll jump in every once in a while. But after all these great TV show reviews, I hate to end on a whimper, but this one's just fine for me here. It's right in the same vein as most things, So, well,
I think it may have potential. You might need to hang in there. I've seen, like I said, I only saw the first half. I really haven't sat down and watched it, but I usually try to see how long it's going to last with that type of show, because it doesn't know. I don't know if they could last past the premise. So let's see how it runs. But yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'll tell you how I feel about it too, either next week or down the road.
All right, my man. Do you know what time it is?
Is it pizza time?
No, it's time to get it. Well, yes, it is. Sorry,
Sh-
my head
sh-
just
sh-
left joke.
can I get some aviator gin before I do this?
You may know him, you may love him. He's gorgeous, but he's also funny. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking the one, the only Ryan Reynolds. From
Oh,
a young age, where he was with a girl in a pizza place, to just now with a man and a baby. We have all loved Ryan Reynolds. I'm so glad that he's had a little bit of a resurgence here. Every time he has a little bit of a fall, it seems like he gets right back up. So good for him.
absolutely. I enjoy his movies a lot. Not all of them, we'll say, but I do have a lot of you know runners up. I say who could have made the top 10. But yeah, he does a great diverse body of work. And I find that refreshing sometimes. I know he does still play the smart mouth, kind of guy on occasion, but I like how he has kind of grown his character and his acting and his. I think it's going to get better as time progresses. We're going to see some good things coming out of him, other than comedy. I think in the near future. So do you want me to go ahead and do my best of, or not the best of, but the runners up?
Let's hear your honorables and then let's get your 10.
Thank you. The Captive is on the honorable mention. Smoking Aces, the Chaos Theory, X-Men Origins Wolverine also made my nod. And also, my number 10, though, is Blade Trinity. I just love that character that he plays in Blade Trinity. I enjoyed the movie. It wasn't the strongest of any of the Blades, but I'm going with performance. This is where it really showed that he could one day, it's his big break film, and I enjoyed watching it. So that's how I liked it. So
I don't know
Blade Trinity.
if told the story, but this will not be on my list here. Now, yes, he does a good job of kind of standing out, and he is fun in this movie here. So is Bill to a degree, so is our boy Triple H, but this movie's an effing mess to a large degree. Snipes didn't even want to promote it, so yeah, I couldn't with all conscience put this on my list here. But for him, all right, I can make that argument, so that's fine.
Well, I have to go with his body of work, and I thought that was a 10 worthy.
All right. So my honorable mentions going here for you. Honorables include. That's right. I'm saying it as an honorable. Don't hate me. Van Wilder, The Nines, Green Lantern. Don't judge me. Chaos Theory. I think we agreed on that. And Life. Were coming in at my honorable mentions. My number 10, though, was also already mentioned by you as an honorable, and that is the eclectic cast of, I'll pop it up here on screen, baby. Smoking Aces from 2006 here, very R-rated. And what I enjoyed about this one, too, was obviously I won't give spoilers as to who goes quick and whatnot, but you really don't know who's going to live to the very end here. Everyone's kind of a little despicable. There's a little bit of an evilness between everyone here. Reynolds is more of he's the biggest good guy you can get in here, though. But I just thought it was fun. It's one of those great, you got so many cast of characters, Affleck, Piven, Garcia, you see right there. One of the first times, Chris Pine, I was like, "Ooh, this Chris Pine's kind of a nutso." Before he saw him there, and Joel Edgerton as well. So yeah, I enjoyed this flick. I don't love it. That's why it's my number 10, but it's worth a shot. If I even looked at the trailer, I kind of want to revisit it.
Yeah, well, I like I said, I was actually looking at that. I was like, man, is that out there? I don't even know if I own it. I possibly could, but I wouldn't mind looking at it. My number 9 is it. I don't know. It has a sequel coming out, I believe, either next year or the way. I don't know how those movies are running right now, but it's The Hitman's Bodyguard with Samuel L. Jackson and Ryan Reynolds. I enjoyed this more than you did, I believe, in the theater at the time. I found it just very fun, very we're having both play almost the same characters they've been known to play: a smart mouth, a badass. who likes to say motherfucker. And then it's a great, kind of like the odd buddy team, and like that scene where he jumps across the building and he just misses it. It just falls all the way down. That made me laugh. I love these practical falls and the smart comments about it. Yeah, it's just a good little film, a good action buddy film, even though they're not buddies. It's the anti-buddy film, I guess you want to put it that way. But yeah, I enjoyed that.
You said you enjoyed it more. I don't know. Maybe you did at the time, but I will be talking about that later. I'll be talking about it actually later. So maybe I.
Oh, okay.
Again. My number 9 here is another movie that I feel could be higher on some lists. Maybe it's higher on yours, but it's only my number 9, and that's Just Friends. 2005 it says here. So it's a sweet, funny little rom-com here. Another thing where Reynolds gets to shine and again in a different light here. See early on him in the fat suit going to, of course, him looking great. Hey, look, Anna Faris as kind of a crazy blonde. We were just talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is one that I was actually late to the party on as well. I mean, it's 2005. I probably saw this in 2015 or 2017. I don't know. I just never jumped on it back when it originally came out here. So, but it does have charm. It does have laughs here. So that's why it's coming in at my number 9.
It's a little higher on my list, so we'll talk about that a little later as well. Because that's just almost right up my alley. You know that, right? It's actually hard left, and then you just go straight up, and you got it. But no, my number 8 is definitely Maybe. It's about a guy who's basically going through a divorce and going through, just sorting out his relationships, of course, with his daughter as well. And it's just it's a different look. Again, this is one of those different looks that you see Ryan Reynolds take in his career. I don't know what year this was. 2000. Let me find it. Jesus, I have it on my notes. So listen. There it is. 2008. That one came out with a young Abigail Breslin. Yes, there you go. And I believe Rachel Weisz is the love interest, maybe, or am I wrong? I don't know. But anyway, so I'm bad with some things. I think it's Rachel Weisz, but that's what's her name? Banks, Elizabeth Banks. There, see. I don't know. Rachel Weisz is in the film somewhere, but there she is. But anyway, but yeah, it's just it's a good film. I'm sorry, I'm getting the cast all over the place, but it's been a while since I've seen it, and I do remember it a little bit, I guess. So that's why I said number 8. I don't know. It's at number 8.
All right, well, I'll correct you a little bit later because I will be talking about it later.
Good.
Right, I think we're on to me. Are you done bumbling up the plot of Definitely Maybe?
Yes, I'm done with it anymore. I'm done with the movie. You know what? It's not even in the top 10 now. Thanks. I'm changing it. Wolverine Origins, Green Lantern. I don't know. Just take its spot.
Whatever. What's that Frankenstein movie he did when he was a kid? Anywho, coming in at my number 8 from 2015. It's Voices. Again, very dark movie here. Somehow Reynolds walks that fine line of you love him, even though he's doing some real dastardly things. Heads in the fridge, and whatnot going on. So he hears his cat and his dog talking to him. I believe he also voices those, which I found out later on that he did the voices. They kind of played with his voice in post. So it's a very interesting movie here. It's definitely flawed too as far as overall quality. It's not that high, but he's really great in it too. So that comes in at my number 8.
Well, what comes in on my number 7? I don't have that on my list actually. So, but I did think about it. But
honorable.
Yes, put it number 8 if you want. I don't care. Anyway, number 7. I'm gonna go with a movie he voices in, and then he shows up at the end. Detective Pikachu. I just love this movie. Number 7, Detective Pikachu. I don't know. There's something about. I would love to see more of these. Are we getting a sequel to this? Did we ever find out yet?
I've not heard. No.
Yeah, so you have long, right? Just this long, yeah. Um, who's basically looking for his dad. I hated the cop out at the end, but it is it's just a fun little adventure, and I don't know. What could you say? I got to finally see Pikachu on screen and Jigglypuff and in good condition. You know, it wasn't no animated, and they did take the time and animated properly. So I'm just excited for the film anyway. So it's just a good. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy this movie a lot.
Yeah, this is one that I enjoyed a little bit less than you. I enjoyed it as well. It's not on my list. I don't know. Maybe I was a little prejudiced because of the voice acting over actual acting. But I like it. It might have made my top 10 if I had let it in.
So you're saying the Croods didn't make your list?
It did not make my list. No. All right. And my number 7. I bet you this thing. I don't even know if this movie's on your radar. Because if next time we do a top 10 films no one's heard of list, I might throw this on there. Let me ask you: have you ever seen Paperman?
Is that a romantic comedy?
Not really. It's from
okay.
2009. Let's look at some of this trailer here. Hold on, I want to go back. Bam! Look at Ryan Reynolds looking beautiful, like he's Superman or something. So this is a really fun little indie film here. Jeff Daniels.
Lisa Kudrow.
He's a struggling author here, and he kind of forms this relationship with Emma Stone, who's also really good in the film here as well. And he has a imaginary best friend in Ryan Reynolds, who's a superhero, and they have these really kind of interesting conversations together. And I really dug this film. And there's another one where I think Reynolds pops. He's a blonde superhero, and it's only in Jeff Daniels' head. And yeah, I enjoyed this one here. I think it's not often talked about. It's kind of been forgotten about, but it's not the greatest. It's not an A+ movie, but I think it's worth checking out. I think even you might dig it.
I'll check it out. It looks like something I could dig. It looks pretty good.
Man, it's my number 7.
Okay. Well, my number 6, it may surprise you that I even put it up this high, but I remember I watched it and I thought, damn, this is way better than the first one with James Brolin. I'm talking the Amityville Horror, where, he plays the exact same character as James Brolin, very evil, but more sadistic. And, you can just see the change, the subtle way that the house is worn on Ryan Reynolds' character in this film as it just progresses. It's a horror film. It is a unbelievably just good movie, for what it was. I know people, I don't know if anybody really liked it or not, for popularity or whatever, but I just found this one a great rendition. I thought, wow, this is better than the first. So if you can get me to say better than the first, I'm in, and it actually did pretty good for myself. And I'm not a very big horror film, that fan. So, but I enjoyed watching this movie and just to see him just slowly turn and go crazy. Unbelievably good.
Interesting. I do own it, but I've never seen it. So
you should watch it. You should watch it.
I'll just pop it on there, man. I do like horror, and it's one of those ones that I just have always kind of passed by me. I think I started it once or twice. Coming in at my number 6, it's a movie that's been discussed by you in your top 10 as well. As I said, I maybe in the end I liked it more than you. Hitman's Bodyguard coming in here. Really just good 2 pairing here, right? This is Reynolds doing what Reynolds does well. This is Jackson doing what Jackson does well. Oldman doing what Gary Oldman does well, and also a nice supporting role of Salma Hayek. We are getting the sequel. It looks like they're trying to protect Salma Hayek in the sequel. So maybe we'll get a little bit more of Hayek, which is fun here. And it's R-rated, it's gritty, it earns an R rating for both language and action. And actually, another thing that stood out to me too is when it is action, it's pretty well done. Like there's some really good action scenes. Reynolds, some good close combat fighting scenes as well here. So that comes in less than the halfway mark, number 6 for me.
Well, at the halfway mark, where I'm at number 5, you talked about, I believe it was your number 8, I think, Just Friends. I believe was your number 8. Just Friends is my number 5. A nice rom-com. And I just find it fascinating. There's a as he comes home and he brings Anna Faris, and then he runs into his old his old best friend who's always had a crush on, but he was always overweight. And it's always. I think that's every big guy's dream to come back looking like Ryan Reynolds. As you go back to your hometown, for the holidays, just to make everyone weep at your greatness. But yeah, I just found it as fun. His brother, I believe it was Mike or something. He's always always trying to be the big man, and he basically just tells him, "Yeah, you can have Anna Faris's character." I don't want her. I want this girl. But yeah, I thought I've always liked Amy Smart. I've always loved her acting. I've always liked just every part of her. Whenever you watch her in Felicity and a few others. Yeah, she wasn't Felicity, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she's that's where I first saw her, and then we, to this day. But yeah, she's been around, and she's also in Power Girl over there at CW. So she's staying strong too. Chris Klein was in it as well, and he's also a power star. So everyone's doing great in their careers in this film. So. And it's still a good film, and it's a holiday classic for Christmas as well. So there you go. That's what I have. Just Friends.
Humbug. Number 5 coming at you from the year 2009. This is one of his more of the ones that we've talked about. Kind of a co-star here. It's Adventureland. Jesse Eisenberg gets his, kind of a summer job here at this little amusement park, along with Kristen Stewart, and he found out Stewart's dating one of the coolest park employee in Ryan Reynolds. And Reynolds, just talking about him in general, walks another, kind of interesting line of, when you first meet him, he's charming. Everyone loves him, and then you kind of find out a little bit more about him and his past, and his real character beneath too, which is and he plays that well. Pretty good as well. And yeah, I thought this was a good movie. Good right mix of humor. Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig of SNL, really funny in their roles. I like the chemistry between Eisenberg and Stewart. They've been in a couple movies together since. Martin Starr, though, the whole cast here, and Reynolds playing kind of a different role, which is interesting. So that comes in.
Yeah, I enjoyed him in that part too, and I like Adventureland. It's a very underrated film because I don't hear a lot of people say, "Hey, you should watch this." My next film is a sequel of sort. What is a sequel? Deadpool 2. It is number 4 right now. 4. So number 4 on the list is Deadpool 2. This was with Juggernaut and just him putting assemble together his own little team as well. Brad Pitt makes his appearance as the Invisible Guy, the Invisible Man, or something like that. But yeah, so it's just a lot of fun. Again, it treads new ground, but old ground just the same. And it just has a couple surprises. I enjoyed part 2, but that's number 4 on my list, and there you go. I probably undersold it, but it's probably the more sweeter of the bunch of the two.
So in order to, and I've done this a lot in the past here with the top 10, in order to give more love to different films, I excluded 2 from the list because I just wanted to have just one Deadpool discussion. So I don't have 2 on the list. I do really love 2. I think it's a very worthy follow-up. You can even say it maybe even had a little more heart than the last one here. Plus, I have huge love for Cable. Seeing him on screen was something that I wanted when I was a kid. So I got a lot of love for Deadpool 2. But I excluded just so we could talk. Me personally, about just one Deadpool, so it was kind of like grouping it.
I was thinking the same, but at the same time, I couldn't dare put anything else up on there because I was thinking, well, can I put one of these down here that are in the honorable mentions? I could have. I just couldn't do it in good sound conscience. It was going to either be Deadpool 2 or Green Lantern. Which one would you prefer to talk about tonight?
I'll be honest, Green Lantern. I would have loved to have heard your story.
I have no story because I didn't like it. I think it could be better as it moves on. So what do you got for number 4?
Coming up at number 4, let me tell you the real plot of this movie. It's definitely maybe from the year 2008. Now, you were saying the love interest, Dutch. The fun part about this movie is you don't know necessarily who the main love interest is because he's telling a sweet story to his daughter, Abigail Breslin. You're finding out who his true love is. Is it April, played by Isla Fisher? Is it Rachel Weisz? Is it Elizabeth Banks? So it has that kind of little fun twist on it, which I think set in a weird way definitely elevated it for me here because you got a different kind of twist of going into it. It's not just one singular girl, you have three, and you like them all. And you do feel bad when 2 out of 3 of them don't work out. And there's even another small twist towards the end as well. So I really enjoyed this film. Again, just all 3 women are on par. Like I said, you feel bad when 2 out of 3 don't work. I really was starting to fall in love with so and so. Abigail Breslin's at her freaking peak of adorableness. Reynolds, of course, is charming. Of course, you understand why all these women are falling in love with him. So, yeah, I really like it. I thought it was a super sweet movie here. My number 4, definitely my number 4.
Okay, number 3 on my list. Sandra Bullock is being drummed out of the country, and who's to save him? Oh, Ryan Reynolds in The Proposal. Yes, The Proposal. So he's basically works at as an editor, not actually a copyright editor yet, but as a assistant to a copyright editor or an editor at a book club or book. What do you call those things? Book places. Places that make books. Publishing company. There we go. Dear God, it's like we're having a quiz show with myself. Yes. So we're having that. And he's basically finds out that Sandra Bullock is her character is either going to have to go to Canada to live or and lose out on these promotions. So Ryan Reynolds' character decides, let's fake it, and but here's the deal. You got to give me a promotion and I can do all this. But to make it real, he has to she jumps on his plane trip back to his family in Alaska, which sets off a little bit more bricks as well. Very fun movie. Betty White doing her little dance in the middle of the woods, trying to bring the spirits of whatever it was to life. It's just a good little scene. But yeah, all in all, I just find this a fun movie. I know I butcher everything that I talk about tonight, but don't take my butchering as a bad thing. But it's just a good movie. I actually own The Proposal, so yes, it's a well worth good watch.
Yeah, never seen it.
You're missing something, man. They have a good chemistry. I would like to see more. I would have loved to see more of the Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock team up.
I've seen 1/3 or a big chunk of it and just never got to finish it. So, yeah. Hey,
finish it.
If you let me borrow it, I swear I'll actually watch it. I'm like Joe versus Volcano.
It's on digital. You can't. So.
Oh, yeah. No.
Until you watch 16 Candles, my friend.
Would you let me borrow? Yeah, it's probably sitting in front of me, actually.
Yeah, it's probably right in front of you somewhere on your TV area, along with Volunteers and Goonies. Did you bring Goonies back to me yet? Yeah. Anyway.
All right, guys. If we said that, that's something we discussed before, but we actually discussed it on a previous episode. We're going back to 2012. It's Safe House, co-starring Denzel Washington. This is funny. It's kind of one of those films that I don't think I realized how much I liked it until I was doing these top 10s because, when I was doing Denzel, it was higher than I thought it would be. And doing Reynolds, this ended up being probably higher than I would imagine, before I really started looking at the list here. Just a really well completely made film here. There is some fun here between these two, but it's nitty, it's gritty, it's action packed. I really like this one here. Safe House comes in at my number 3.
Well, my number 2, yes. I had to bring it up. It's not number 2 because that was 4. But my number 2 is Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool made number 2. We finally got to see the mercenary come to life on screen. We saw him briefly as a very bad one in Wolverine, but we got this. But we did get to see the smartass remarks that he was able to quip in the original one. But yeah, I found this one just an imaginative take. Very good. I enjoyed this movie 100%. Made me laugh. Just a I don't know. It was because it was different than any other Marvel film that they've ever come out with. It was brutally just honest about itself, violent and just I don't know. He just brought everything to it, and it made me smile. It still makes me smile just watching it. I've watched the first one probably about a dozen times. It's just that good, and I do love the idea that they only bring in the lower of the X-Men to do the battles. What did you think about that? What's your number two?
I will be talking about Deadpool very shortly here, but not quite yet. My number two, this is a film that is definitely not like Adventureland, and it's not like some of the other ones where he's the co-star in Paperman as well. This thing is definitely headlined by Ryan Reynolds. In fact, except for voices, it's just Ryan Reynolds. So I had to show some love to Buried, coming from the year 2010, a decade old. This film is. So he wakes up. I'll show here a little bit of the trailer here. He's in a casket, man, and he's got a cell phone, and he's buried 6 feet underground. Hey, six underground. This is the sequel. And he's making phone calls. He gets in touch with I believe his wife at one point, and he's trying to figure out exactly why he's there, and it's just you have to have an actor like a Tom Hanks, a Will Smith, and obviously because of this, throw in Ryan Reynolds that can hold you for that entire 90 minutes here, because it's a film that on paper, at least to me, doesn't super entice me, but he's so good in this. You're with him the entire 90 minutes of rooting for him and wondering, and there's stuff with snakes in the casket, and different ways that they keep you engaged, and so it's a tour de force, as they say. My number two, Buried.
So that brings me to my number one. Buried. Yes. See, we were a little off. We just switched our number ones and twos, I believe. But I gotta tell you, Buried to me showed Ryan Reynolds has shown up. You know what I'm saying? He showed that he can carry a film. He showed he can show range of emotion. He showed he doesn't have to be a smartass to make a movie happen. I just enjoyed this tense. It was just a tense thriller all the way through, and I don't know. It was just so gripping. And I know I wouldn't last 90 seconds, probably in a coffin, like he did. But yeah, I just thought it was just a great movie, a tour de force by him, for just being. I just love that performance from him. I really did. It's an unbelievable performance, and I think this movie is finally catching on with other people. After all these years, I think it's starting to catch on because people are starting to go back into his library, and they're finding that he could act. He is a good actor. He's a good serious actor.
Absolutely, man. Good to see some love from Buried here. And, obviously, no spoilers here. You know what number one is. We're going Deadpool, baby. As you said, we saw kind of a glimpse of it in X-Men Origins Wolverine. And then they just weren't going to do it. And then that test footage leaked. And whoever leaked that test footage, thank you. You're a friggin' hero, because we got the R-rated film that we wanted. And that's what I love about this. As you said, it was something different than Marvel gave us. I love pretty much every MCU film we've gotten in these last several years. The worst MCU film is still a pretty watchable film. I'm saying MCU because there are some bad Marvel movies, Fantastic Four, whatnot. But this was just a different take here. It's raunchy. It earns that R rating. It's violent here. It's self-referential from the opening credits, which are fantastic, to the way and how they kind of love each other, and the way that she loves him, wink, wink, is just fantastic here. As you mentioned, the B players for the X-Men, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, I think, and of course Colossus, with him. He's quite funny in it, so I love this movie here. As I said, I'd love for the sequel as well here. I'm hard pressed. I give it to the first one just because it's the OG. It's the first time we're seeing this character here. This character was already starting to pop into the zeitgeist. Now this character is everywhere. I wish we had gotten that Donald Glover cartoon. I think there's definitely money in a cartoon series here. I would totally watch a weekly series like a Harley Quinn, but with Deadpool. So. Yeah. Much love to Deadpool, changing the game. my number one. Dutch, one more time, run through your top 10 of Mr. Reynolds.
Hold on, I just lost it for some reason. I shut it down. Okay, my number 10, Blade Trinity. Number 9, The Hitman's Bodyguard. Number 8, definitely maybe. Number 7, Detective Pikachu. Number 6, The Amityville Horror. Number 5, Just Friends. 4, Deadpool 2. Number 3, The Proposal. Number 2, Deadpool. And number 1, Buried. What do you got for me, Jordan?
All right, my friend. Let's go here. So, top 10 Ryan Reynolds, number 10 for me. Smoking Aces, number 9, Just Friends. 8, Voices. 7, Paperman. 6, Hitman's Bodyguard. 5, Adventureland. 4, Definitely Maybe. 3, Safe House. 2, Buried. 1, Deadpool.
Perfect. So, my friend, it's about that time. The time that most people really want to hear what's out there going on. And yeah, don't be glib. Don't be glib. You know what I'm talking about, right? My news. I want the big news first. You gonna give me the big news first? Because the one I texted you about, because I want that news first. It's time for the news and notable stuff, people. That's what I'm getting at. And oh my God, the biggest news hat over the week, and I am just so thrilled to have listened to this. And you've listened to it. Did you finally listen to it? And what we're talking about is Tom Cruise going ape on the cast of or the crew of the new Mission Impossible film being filmed in England, and according to people, it was justified, but it was not as justified as Tom may think it is, because I understand where the pressure is on, but he went ballistic and told a couple crew members, if he screws up, you're fired, and if he screws up, you're fired, which I just don't like the idea of somebody just, what happens if I had a bad day with you, Jordan, and you decided to take your mask off, I'd be upset. But
studio at night, insurance companies, producers, and they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs. I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it.
So that's just a taste, because that does go on, kind of like a Christian Bale. Solid 2 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Fucking fired, and so on and so forth. So,
I love it. I mean, okay, who wins better, Christian Bale or Tom Cruise?
Bale's a little more entertaining, like yeah. But I mean, Cruise, I don't know, man. Bale will scare the pee out of me. Cruise, I probably wouldn't be as afraid of. I'm afraid I'd lose my job. Bale, I think, would hurt me.
Yeah. Bale looks like he could probably hurt you. He would. The other one would probably blacklist you somehow in Hollywood. But also, what surprised me is that he actually believes in science. But hey, I'm happy for that. Because he is. He believes in some type of space alien. So, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. But I just thought him erupting was probably the best thing I've ever seen. I've heard in my entire. What I would love to know is I would love to know if anyone has the recording of the next time, because he had to go off after he heard this be public. You know what I'm saying? I would love to know if anybody has a recording of that, because I would love to hear that rant as well.
Interesting one here, man. I want to know how this gets out, because I'm sure he was like, find the man who did this and murder him. Like, he must have been like, I want heads on a platter.
That's what I'm saying. I would love to know what's going on now, because it's gotta it's gotta chap his hide just a little bit that somebody released that. But he did make sense, though. I'll be honest. He did overreact to that one little thing. Because if I've read properly, they were about maybe half the distance they should have been, because they were trying to look at a monitor of that day's shots. They're trying to collaborate, and they had their mask on still. So it was like no one had no mask off. They were just maybe like, instead of 6 feet, 4 feet. feet, something like that. And he went off on it. But yeah, he does make some good concerns. You know, hey, look, everyone's trying to make this movie. Everyone's trying to be healthy, but also, you know, they got a time budget to do. So, you know, and there's a lot of people who don't have work, and they should just be lucky they have the job at this moment because they're able to do, you know, as much protocol and bubbling as they can. So, but this is not, but also though, don't forget he was a little worried because what happened in Italy earlier was they had to be shut down because one extra turned out to have COVID, so they had to cancel all of like 200 extras they had for that day for tracing as well because he was around a whole bunch of other people and Tom was near him or something, so everyone got a little whoa. So yeah, so it's interesting. But yeah. I loved it. So, buddy, what else do you got for us?
There was other big movie news this week. Besides the rant, the big news coming out was Disney and Marvel just laying it out on the line, showing you for years to come, we are getting lots of movies and lots of shows coming to us pretty soon here. Lots of news coming out here. Ant-Man and the Wasp has a new subtitle. It's Quantumania. So I enjoy that title here. Speaking of the man who's the king of rants, Christian Bale has been casted for Thor 4 Love and Thunder as Gore the God. So I love it, man. You know, I was always saying too, like, you know, if you just read the cast of some of these Marvel movies, it sounds like an Oscar movie. You know, like read the cast of Doctor Strange, you know, like starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Rachel McAdams, Tilda Swinton, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Like you would think you were reading the cast of a top Oscar movie that year. So cool to see Bale probably having some fun here in the fourth Thor. Just like we got Kate Winslet, who was fantastic. So speaking of the Thor family, Loki is currently set for a May 2021 release over on Disney Plus. The new trailer came out. Owen Wilson entering the Marvel Universe, which is pretty fun here. So I look forward to that. That show looks like a lot of fun.
He's competing with Luke over there in the DC universe now.
Who's Luke? What are you talking about?
Was it, you know, Owen and Luke Wilson, you know, his brother?
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. I was thinking of Luke.
Yeah. No. That'd be nice if Luke Hemsworth went over and started doing something over the DC universe, like Thor-ish look, you know? That'd be funny.
Tim Roth is back as Abomination for the She-Hulk series. Chris Evans is going to be Buzz Lightyear. Sorry, Tim Allen, in an origin movie. I feel like we know his origin, but all right. Here's something I'm excited about. Maybe a decade kind of late, but I'm still excited. Amy Adams is official for Disenchanted, going to Disney Plus. Outside, well, I guess let me finish with this. Hayden Christensen will be Anakin Skywalker in the Kenobi series. And outside of Marvel and Disney, although I'm going to go back to Marvel and Disney, Indiana Jones 5 is set for 2022, and it will be the conclusion. I heard that before.
Well, they just got to keep Harrison on ice, you know, at this point. You know, Harrison, don't be flying any planes, okay?
Jones 5, the mystery of who took my tapioca pudding.
Yeah. Who took my Jello cup? Where's my Jello cup? Tapioca? I had tapioca too.
You're holding it. Oh, okay. Sorry. Speaking of stuff that will never end, but this time I'm okay with it never ending. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We're waiting for season 15, but FXX has said, don't worry, because we're also going to greenlight 16, 17, and 18. So we will have at least 18 seasons of the gang from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
This is the reason why that one guy could buy a Welsh soccer team with Ryan Reynolds.
Who bought it? Glenn Howerton or who?
I think it was. It was the I'm bad with names. So the good-looking one, I guess. I don't know. Not the curly-haired one, not the short one, but the moderately good-looking.
Rob McElhenney, but probably Glenn Howerton. The guy that was in The Hunt.
I can't remember. But it's not Danny DeVito. I know that.
Well, you said the good-looking one. No offense, Mr. DeVito.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling it up right now, so I could tell you exactly which. Yeah, Rob McElhenney any.
Oh, I would say the good-looking one's Glenn Howerton, so I disagree with you.
Well, I'm just thinking, curly hair. I don't know women like curly hair or not, but I just thought the one who has charisma. There we go. Anyway, we have two different types. Anyway, let's just keep moving.
Yeah, different tastes in men, evidently.
But we both agree, not Danny DeVito. Anyway,
His hair is curly-ish.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think even if you watch the show, they always mention that Glenn Howerton's more of the pretty one. Anywho, though, this is going to take me a minute, but I'm just going to ramble these off.
Do it.
Coming to Marvel and Disney, a new Fantastic Four movie, Captain Marvel 2, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye to Disney Plus for a series, Moon Knight series, Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, that should be fun, Secret Invasion series, Blade is official with Mahershala Ali, Ironheart series, Armor Wars series with Don Cheadle, I Am Groot, and then in the Star Wars land, Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Bad Batch, Andor, Acolyte, A Droid Story, Lando, Visions, and a Rogue Squadron movie. For Disney Pixar, Baymax, based on the Big Hero 6 series, Zootopia Plus, Tiana, based on Princess and the Frog, Buckwild, which is an Ice Age spinoff with Simon Pegg, and they're also working on an Alien TV series for FX. By the way, I'm surprised it didn't go up $12 more. It's going up $1. It's going to be $8 a month now.
For what is it going to go up for?
Disney.
Oh, okay. I don't pay for it anyway. But yeah, I enjoy. I don't know, man. It just seems like they're so ambitious over there at Disney now. It's like, what franchise can we milk like the teats really hard? Let's just get as much out of it as we can, And I'm like, let's just hope we don't overexhaust ourselves, But Ms. Marvel, that I can't wait for that. It looks like it might be a television series. Isn't that what that is? Right, a television series, or is they doing the movie?
I thought it was a movie.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I know they're filming it right now, so it's getting worked on. What else we got for me, bud?
We got one more. It's the new addition to the show. Are you ready?
Oh, hold on. Can we rant for a second? Because you missed the bigger news.
Did I? What's the bigger news?
That Zack Snyder is at it again. He's come out and said that 4 or 5 hour edition of his JLA film will be rated R, and he has our good man Batman saying the F word a few times. I'm just sitting there. You know what? What do you need? Do you need this much attention, Zach? Do you? Okay, stop it. Just take your box of cookies or whatever the hell you brought to the party and get the hell out of here. I'm tired of you. Okay, let's go to that new segment that you really love. I hate you, Zack Snyder.
Do you like Titans on DC?
I love Titans. I enjoy that a lot.
Titans say the F word?
He did, and I didn't appreciate it either because it just was out of character for the person. But as you watch the series, it's explainable, but it's not great.
In that universe with this guy, I think an R rating definitely makes sense. And I don't know if the F word is sensible. I'm fine with it, man. What the fuck?
Like I said, I'm not against the F word. Come on, it's like having Superman say the C word just because you can. Okay.
Up, get away, you cunts.
Hey, I'm talking in derogatory terms. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what is this new segment that we so justly like?
All right. Hey, do you like Alan Tudyk?
Yes, he has a new show on Sci-Fi.
Have you seen the trailer?
I have not seen it. I have read about it. So
You're about to see the trailer.
Oh, I cannot wait. Let's see what we got going.
You Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel? What can I help you with? We had ourselves a murder in town last night. You're a doctor. We need you to come down and take a look at the body. Doctor. This is awesome. Goodness. Carrying out what happened. Like Law and Order. Look, that's one thing. Awesome, right? I have to prove I fit in. I'm normal.
So he's not like House. We can tell you that right now.
Even are you, Ray Vanderspiegel?
Just a normal human.
This town looks like a slice of Americana, but trust me, it has an underbelly. Alien.
Well, you don't have anything to worry about. I'm not an alien. Thank you for coming over. There's a killer out there. I can help. I'm a good doctor. I'm never wrong.
I strongly believe the body washed up on the beach.
How do you know that? Because I can feel it in my balls.
Well, and I checked the currents and the...
Until proven guilty, unless they're guilty.
Yes, I will watch this definitely. Yeah, it looks like a good film. It's an Amblin Entertainment, so it's done. You know, Steven Spielberg gives it the old nod.
So intense. I like it. Not for everybody.
Oh Lordy, I can't believe that.
I'm sold. I love Alan Tudyk. I've sang his praises before. In fact, I was going through my room the other day. I do have a Alan Tudyk action figure from Firefly.
Oh, okay.
One day maybe I'll get that signed.
Did you have his dinosaurs with him?
I think he does. Those are accessories, yes.
Yep. But man, I gotta tell you though, I that looks good. It looks funny. I'm glad somebody's giving him a shot. You know, and he always plays those odd characters like he did in even Doom Patrol. You know, he played the odd villain there. So it's I just love Alan Tudyk. He's just a good actor, and I love him when they team him with Nathan Fillion and The Rookie this past year. I thought it was a pretty good mashup. Colliding two people together. We haven't seen that. Comic Men was a Comic Men as well. Was that show that they had, the Comic-Con show or something like that?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was a show. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a decent show as well. Just he's a great comedic actor. Also, I loved him in what was the other one? Oh, there it is right there. Yes. So you have that one right there?
Yeah.
The two dinosaurs. Yeah. But I love that show, man. It's another show. I don't know if if Josh could even put together a show anymore. So we'll see what happens with him in the future. So anything else we got for me, bud? You got any other good news? I've been staying away because there's a lot of spoilers for from the last Mandalorian out there. So I gotta stay away. So I'll watch that tomorrow morning.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't want to know what's going on, but yeah. But anyway, so what have we got in store for next week? I got a few shows. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spoil a few movies that I have for next week. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
I'm going to review Secret Garden. If you have Hulu, go ahead and watch it out there. Watch it, Secret Garden. Also, I'm going to watch Fat Man, so I'm going to get you that review. I'm going to get David Copperfield, The Life and Time Experience. That's my number one film of the season that I've been wanting to watch. It was my number one film of 2020. If you watched us, that was my most anticipated film of 2020. So I'll finally get around to watching that. And also the newest by Chadwick Boseman hit Netflix today. And what was the name of that one? Do we remember that?
Rainey's.
I just went blank on it. I don't know why, and I had it in my notes. Yeah, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's out there on Netflix. It's only an hour and a half, so it's pretty manageable to watch. I was afraid it was going to be like a 2 or 3 hour film for some reason, but I heard about a good deal on it as well on NPR. So they've given it a good talking about today, and it made me more interested because they talked about the history of the actual characters in this film. They didn't tell me how it works, but it's just going to be interesting. So those are the films that I have up for next week. And, any more I will add. We're going to have a big super show, I think, after Christmas, I believe we're going to do. So I can't wait. Then we have our New Year's Eve classic. Are we going to do a New Year's Eve show? A New Year's Eve show, or
Possible.
that's possible the way we do things around here. And we're going to have our top 10, top 10 films of the year, top 10 TV shows, and top 10 music.
Well, at the beginning of the year, top 10 music. I don't know if I have that. I listened to 10 albums this year. But
I don't know. What are we doing for our New Year's Eve show?
We'll figure it out off air, because I know once the year begins, I mean, we got plenty of top 10 movies, TV shows, top worst movies I want to talk about.
Yeah, we can do that.
Performances, I think it will be interesting as well. And also top 10 movies that we were screwed out of this year, who I think would be a fun list as well.
My number one so far, I'll tell you that, I'll just spoil it. I don't even know if it's number one, but one of the ones that I really wanted to see this year was James Bond. I still harbor ill feelings about that one, but there's other ones as well. I think what we were duped out of, not Wonder Woman, but she's coming up. But what we were duped out of?
You got A Quiet Place. You got Candyman.
Thor was Thor coming out this year, or Black Widow was coming out this year?
No,
no, but I mean, Black Widow was supposed to come out this year. That's one that you were chapped up about.
Sure.
So yeah, there's a lot of films that we really wanted to see. And hopefully next year we're going to see something come out. HBO Max, don't forget, is it's going to show a lot of movies next year, but will they or won't they at this point? Because a lot of people are upset, about how they're doing it, not telling people. I believe Legendary Pictures is talking about Dune, saying how dare Warner Brothers do what they're doing, and they're trying to put an injunction if they can. And to try to get them to not even allow it to be seen, but only in the theater. But that's a far down release date anyway, so we might be back to normal by then after all the vaccines are put out and administered. So just be safe out there, kids. That's what we just ask you. Like Fievel over with Jordan, wear your mask.
He's as old as I am.
He's 75. Anyway, we just have good genes. But yeah, I don't know. I think this HBO Max thing did a paradigm shift with directors out there. What do you think, real quick? I just want to talk to you about that, because Christopher Nolan's come out and said that all of a sudden out of nowhere, Christopher Nolan seems like he has sour grapes, but he also stated that HBO Max is the worst channel on out there at all. And I'm like, I don't think he has a subscription.
No, if there wasn't a pandemic going on, I think you can make that argument, but I don't know. I go along with the thoughts of, like, what else is there? Like, these films are done, they're wrapped. Like, people, they want to get them out there. Like, this seems to me like the safest bet. Okay, we can re-examine in a few months if the vaccines are out and they're working. Okay, maybe take back some of those deals if you can. Even if you can, some of those deals might be done. So, like I said, at the time when it was announced, I thought it just made the most sense because, I'm trying to avoid theaters if possible. You know what I mean? So, okay, cool. It's in my living room now. I'll get the subscription if I don't already have it. So, it made sense at the time, for sure.
Yeah, and I just think that it's, to me, sour grapes because Tenet wasn't as well received and well watched. I know we were during a pandemic when he decided to still launch it, but I think sometimes Christopher Nolan can be full of himself. He's a great gifted filmmaker.
Made an okay movie. The movie's not that great.
That's what I'm saying. He's a good filmmaker. Beautiful shots all the time. Sometimes a good story, sometimes not. But he's not the he's acting like he's the one who developed the theater experience, and I'm sorry, you didn't, sir. And I just think that I understand where some of these people are talking about, because if you look at the back ends, people are upset right now with Gal Gadot for having gotten $10 million payout, like the film what she would have gotten if the film would have made $1 billion. So they've already given her $10 million and say, here you go. Sorry, we're putting it out like this. So, there's $10 million. And a lot of other stars are saying, well, we have the same kind of writer. What's going to happen? If you guys start doing this, are you just going to look at Dune and look at these big blockbusters that they're putting out there. Matrix 4, right? If it makes $1 billion, are they going to get back in as well? Are they going to get, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're worried about right now, is like they're starting a precedence, and some of these actors are getting a little upset because the writers are probably not going to be fulfilled if they don't continue to do this. And I don't know if Warner Brothers can actually do that or not. Could sustain just giving money away, because they're spending a ton of money. So anyway, enough of that. I'm happy to say we're done, I believe, unless you have anything.
Hype your movies where I don't get to hype my movies next week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes. I asked you if you had any. You didn't say anything.
You never asked me. You showed me where you asked me.
Go to the videotape.
No, next week we might have a double feature for Chadwick Boseman. I just got around to Defy Bloods, so I might chit chat about that real quick, as well as I just watched Cutthroat City, directed by the RZA, Wu-Tang Represent.
Really? Okay, that'll be interesting to see. Was it? We'll talk about it next week. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. I was going to ask you, was it good? I don't know. But
we got to find out next week.
I know. What a tease! You're such a tease.
It made a very interesting decision in the end that maybe I'll talk to you off air about.
On DVD? Did it just go to DVD?
I did get it on. Once again, let me just show people Netflix DVD.
See, some things you just can't get on video on demand.
This is you should like this movie. You talked about this earlier. Let's see if I can get it without disappearing. Oh, maybe not. I don't know if you can read that. Oh, it's Friendsgiving. It's that movie Friendsgiving.
Oh yes. I hope you enjoy that, and I can't wait to hear your review of that.
That's I guess I'll talk about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, boy, I tell you, there's a lot of things you cannot get on the streaming service that you can get on DVD. See, you've done so well. So Netflix, we're plugging you tonight. So maybe why not just set my boy up with a free subscription to the DVD plan? Okay. Do that.
Like I said, I have a month. Maybe I'll be nice and do 2 months. 1 month where I actually pay. Sometimes I feel guilty. Like they gave me, I can give them one.
Yeah, well, let's not. Let's get Netflix to give you the DVD plan, because I think you're the only one who gets them. So anyway, I'm Dutch McAllister. I hope you all had a great evening. Fievel, take us home.
It's Santa Mouse, you son of a bitch. And for Santa Mouse, Dutch and JPO, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. If you hated it, tell an enemy.
Absolutely. Good night, everybody. Or good day, everybody. Or good afternoon.
Whichever one it is.